In this video, we got a lot to go over as we are getting closer to E3 and Summer Game Fest. One game that a lot of people want to see more of is, of course, Elden Ring, and it looks like we might be seeing it during the Summer Game Fest on June 10th. We'll talk all about that. On top of that, we have an update on Horizon Forbidden West. I am not still 100% convinced that the game is coming out in 2021. Crossing my fingers that that is the case, that it does come out in 21. We'll go over what Hermen Hulst said about that. Gran Turismo 7 has also added a PlayStation 4 version, but first of all, Elden Ring looks to be present at E3 2021 during Summer Game Fest on June the 10th. Now, this was spoken on by Jeff Grubb speaking, "I'm feeling optimistic about Elden Ring today," and then also on a Twitch video, he did note that Jeff Keighley has its hands on it, and of course Jeff Keighley is the host of the Summer Game Fest, and on top of that, Souls on Elden Ring will be at the Summer Game Fest, comes from the same source that leaked me Final Fantasy Origins. So a lot of things are coming together as far as Elden Ring is concerned. You would imagine that this game has made some progression since we last heard about it. I mean, it's been a couple of years since we got some concrete information. I know that leaked trailer had circulated for a little while. Hopefully the game is making smooth progress, because this is a game that, even though we haven't seen official gameplay of, it is among the most anticipated games across all of gaming. Honestly, you could make an argument it's among the top 2 to 3, given that it is going to be available on, you would think, all platforms. So Xbox fans are excited for it, PlayStation guys are excited for it, PC guys are excited for it, and From Software just is one of those studios that definitely has the gaming world's pulse, and everybody takes into account what they're doing. So hopefully Elden Ring is making smooth progress, and hopefully it is out. I doubt it's going to be out in 2021, to be perfectly honest. I could see it being an early 2022 title, or sometime mid-2022. We'll see how that ultimately shakes out, but at the very least, it's looking very likely that we are going to be seeing the game at Summer Game Fest. And if we're seeing the game at an event like Summer Game Fest, I would have to imagine it's going to be a significant showcase. It's not going to be another CG trailer. We already got that. Now is the time that people want to see gameplay. If you just show us another CG trailer, people are just going to be more disappointed than anything else. And I hope we get a release window, but honestly, if they don't even want to give us a release window, let's not get people excited about a window that they're not going to be able to hit. Like, let's not say Holiday 21 only for it to get delayed like God of War. I know at this point, a lot of people have just smartened up and realized whenever they say a release window, or even a release date, people are just taking it with a grain of salt, but there are still a lot of people that take a lot of validity to windows and things like that, only to get hit with delays and getting really disappointed. So I think it would be best if they don't have a solid window that's relatively soon. Don't even announce it. Show off gameplay, and I think that's enough to get people super excited, so we'll see how that shakes out. Speaking of release windows, Horizon Forbidden West, most of us think it's coming 2021. I am still like 80% sure it's going to be 2021, but I'm not 100% sure, so let's talk a little bit about it. Well, Hermen Hulst spoke a little bit on it, noting that Horizon Forbidden West is on track to launch for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 this holiday season, but that isn't quite certain yet. Hulst said in a newly published PlayStation blog, "We think we are on track to release Horizon Forbidden West this holiday season, but that isn't quite certain yet, and we're working as hard as we can to confirm that to you as soon as we can." Oh my man, if this gets delayed into 2022, I see that disappointing people. Like, if Horizon and God of War both don't hit 2021, now you're talking about an empty slate of PlayStation exclusives for the latter portion of the year, and I think people would be disappointed by that. I think anybody that had been following God of War, everybody, like, even when that game was announced, everybody was like, yo, this is memes. This game is not coming out in 2021, which, it's like, if schmucks like that, us online, can, like, already say, yo, it's not coming out in 2021, why are you even announcing a release window when, like, literal randoms like me literally just look at the trailer and we're like, yeah, this ain't coming 2021, this is literally memes. Like, you would think that they would know that better than us, but, like, I don't know. I don't know if they just say it to get people excited. Obviously, we are living in a different kind of climate right now than we have ever had before, so you have to take delays with, you know, you can't get too mad about them. But in the case of Horizon, I do think if Horizon gets delayed into 2022, just because people built it up in their head, and I did as well, I was pretty certain that this was going to be a 2021 title, I think this would, in fact, disappoint a lot of people if it was delayed into 2022, just because then you're talking about PlayStation just having an empty slate of games for the holiday season, at least based on what's announced at this point. In terms of major big budget releases, because I don't see a Final Fantasy 16 coming out this year, God God of War. I don't think it's gonna come out. Obviously, God of War isn't coming out this year. What am I saying? Yeah, God of War is gonna be 2022. And then you're talking about taking that initial, you know, latter portion of the year where people were thinking, some people were actually thinking we were gonna get Ratchet, Horizon, God of War, and Final Fantasy 16 within that window, and yeah, I always felt that that was relatively unlikely, but now, if Horizon gets pushed as well, you would be literally down to just Ratchet and Clank. But again, I'm 85-90% sure that Horizon is going to come out this year. I would be very, very disappointed if it didn't, because this was a game, when I saw that gameplay, oh my god, that game quickly is becoming one of my more anticipated games of the year. Maybe my top 1 and 2 is this and Ratchet and Clank. Obviously, a lot more stuff is going to get announced this month. I'm pretty excited for both of those, along with like Tales of Arise. But let's hope everything can stay intact. Speaking of release windows and everything like that, Gran Turismo 7 was also scheduled for a 2021 release. I believe it was. Yeah, when we saw this game didn't have a 2021 release window attached to it. Well, Gran Turismo 7 will not only be coming to the PlayStation 5, it will also be coming to the PlayStation 4. A lot of people are taking this in a variety of different ways. Look, it's very hard to get a PlayStation 5 right now. I can see why they're releasing it on PlayStation 4, but me, selfishly, I have a PlayStation 5. I want games designed exclusively for the PlayStation 5. It's okay to have the odd cross-gen title here and there with like a Miles Morales and Horizon, I guess, but like, now that we know God of War is going to be cross-gen, Horizon's cross-gen, Gran Turismo 7's cross-gen, Miles Morales was cross-gen, Ratchet and Returnal are like the two games that we know that are full-on PS5 exclusives, and Final Fantasy 16, so this is like quite a bummer that Sony is going down this route, because didn't Sony themselves say that they believed in generational upgrades, or they believe in generations or whatever? And I remember Microsoft got a lot of flack for doing a lot of cross-gen titles. Well, we got to keep that same energy here. If you're giving flack to Microsoft for doing a lot of cross-gen titles, that Halo Infinite was cross-gen, that XYZ game was cross-gen, you gotta keep that same energy and give the same flack to Sony, because they went from Horizon being cross-gen, which was kind of a surprise to me, and then Miles Morales, and now GT7 is, now God of War is. I can understand a lot of PlayStation 4 owners are happy just because PlayStation 5s are so hard to get, but me, again, from a selfish standpoint, man, I want to play God of War, and I want to see that game with complete shackles off. You could say Horizon looks really good, and Horizon, don't get me wrong, looks really good, but had that game been a full-on PlayStation 5 exclusive, I truly believe they could take Horizon to another level. They probably have to dial back God of War a little bit just to get it to work on the PlayStation 4. Look, at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me that much just because the visuals, I think, are so good, and if I get 60 frames per second, if I get the bells and whistles, really 60 FPS is what I'm aiming for these days. That's what I really need, but again, I would like these games to be developed for the PlayStation 5, and now we're talking, you know, 2 years deep into the console cycle, and you're still doing cross-gen games? I don't think that was a thing on the PlayStation 4. By 2015, you know, we kind of did away with the PlayStation 3 games, and we moved on to PlayStation 4. In 2022, 2 years after the release of the PlayStation 5, we're still going to be getting PS4 titles and cross-gen games. It's a little bit interesting to me, but I'm sure more people are happy about it than not, just for my selfish reasons. I wanted, you know, true PS5 experiences, and I'm sure we're going to have that with the Ratchets of the world, with the Returnals of the world, but the upcoming slate of exclusives, Horizon, GT7, God of War, all cross-gen titles. But that's gonna wrap up this one. Again, exciting information regarding Elden Ring. Looks like that will be a part of Summer Game Fest on June 10th, so hopefully we finally see some gameplay of that. Horizon Forbidden West on track for a holiday release. Fingers crossed we do hit that window, because I'm super excited for that game. GT7 getting a PS4 version. That's gonna wrap up this one. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.